Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. I have got 5 players that I think are going to be projected. Well, I know that they are currently projected to be under 5% on the week. Your contrarian plays, our Saturday video here on the channel. We take a look. Well, I take a look and then I tell you. I include you in the process as we. But realistically speaking, I take a look at all the NFL DFS projections on Draftkings for week 10 across every site that we are partnered with. Daily Roto, Fantasy Labs, Establish the Run, rotogrinders. 3 of those have to have these players that are on this list at under 5%. And ooh, baby. This week's list is star-studded, probably because of the value tsunami that's out there, which is constantly pushing percentages down for other players. Now, a lot of these plays have a really solid projection, right? Like in terms of just raw projected points, they project very well, but their salaries are what's putting them a little bit down. So this is a pay up to be contrarian week. It is very easy to either get off of the chalk or bring down the combined percentage of your lineup, because it's way more important than just fading one player because of a percentage. We suggest trying to stay under 130 total percentage points for your lineups in large field tournaments in order to get contrarian. It's much easier to do. You can swallow some of the chalk. You don't have to avoid everything. Nobody ever won a tournament because they had the lowest total combined percentage of the 9 plays in their lineup. Just try to keep it under 130 total on projected, and you should be just fine. So thank you for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and leave me a message down below letting me know who your differentiation play is this week, and let's hit it.
He's a legend.
We've only got little less than 47 hours until kickoff. 1,300 players right now in the Smiz Gang Listener League. What I'm asking you to do is go to smizzle.tv/league. There will be a link for it down below in the description and in the pinned comment. It is the easiest league to find. I've tried to make this as simple for you guys to get in as possible. $30,000 in the prize pool. 100% of that goes back to the players. Absolutely no rake. $10, 3 max. And my favorite distribution at the prize pool, $3,000 to first, 10% of that going to 10th place. Really flat, friendly prize pool payout arc for all of you that are involved. So let's talk about my 5 contrarian plays for the weekend. Christian freaking McCaffrey. I'm telling you, it doesn't stop here. Christian McCaffrey is 8,400 this week. Now look, before I get into all of these different players, I know that people are going to say in the replies, well, you know, aren't you worried about the quarterback situation there? Aren't you worried about the defensive back that's going to be covering these wide receivers? All of that is baked into projections. And because of those projections having that information baked into them, that is what's making them not pop in projection models, which is what's holding their percentages down. So Christian McCaffrey, last week when he played 50% of the snaps, still posted 14.6 points by handling over 75% of the running back touches. As his snap percentages increase, and I assume that another week out from injury, we should see him climb above 75, possibly 80% of the running back snaps for Carolina. And in PJ Walker, is with him making his first start against Arizona, there is going to be a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey, which means that we should see a return to somewhere around this fantasy point range expected, as opposed to him playing 50% of the snaps and only getting 14.6. Projected right now at 4.3% average across the sites that I mentioned before. A fantastic way to get contrarian on a week where there are tons of other running back plays. At wide receiver, A.J. Brown going up against New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is going to be a source of value this week with Alvin Kamara sitting out and Mark Ingram coming in. So if you wanted the secondary stack, A.J. Brown, who in the last few games has seen like over a 30% target market share, that's obscene. The amount of volume that he has been getting is ridiculous. 9 targets, 9 targets, 11 targets, 11 targets. Now, coming off a game against the Rams where he only posted 9.2 fantasy points, and yes, New Orleans has been tough against perimeter wide receivers, and Lattimore is good, particularly against bigger wide receivers. That's why his percentage is being held under 5%, basically about 4.5 across the sites that I saw this morning. If he trickles above 5%, apologies. All right, I'm trying to find contrarian plays for you, and this week is a very easy week to do it with all of the volume of percentage points. It's going to be flocking towards the obvious value plays, and those things are holding everybody else down. Now, there might be a couple of injuries that change things, but right now they're going to have to score some points. Monitor this situation, as I believe that I read in chat that Tannehill was not seen at practice so far today. If Tannehill is out, that kind of changes my outlook on AJ Brown. It'll just drop him to a lower percentage, and I think that there are better plays that might be available to you, like Terry McLaurin. You don't beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by running the ball. You have to throw the ball. This is a high totaled game. 51 total points, Buccaneers favored by 9. So pass game script enacted all throughout the game, projected for Washington this week. A great chance for him to get like 8, 9, 10 targets at 7,600. He's priced up to a spot where people don't want to pay for him. He projects at under 2%, 1.9% projection right now on the week for Terry McLaurin. It's enough already. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 games where he has seen over 10 targets. He has had 3 weeks where he's had 28 or more Draftkings points. The floor is certainly low, right? 3 of the last 4 weeks, sub 10 points. But the ceiling is exceptionally high for Terry McLaurin. And when it comes to a tournament play, you have to be willing to take that risk. That is what makes a tournament play. And his inconsistency. A high floor, high ceiling player ends up being way more played than a low floor, high ceiling player. So we want to be able to take that risk, especially in secondary stacks or double Tom Brady stacks with using Terry McLaurin as a bring back, as there aren't that many options right now on the Washington football team to bring things back with. We're doing our fundraiser for No Kid Hungry. If you have benefited from the content that we do, go to smizzle.tv/charity. Every single dollar helps. If you have won money this year as a result, or you believe as a result of this content, or it's helped put you in a better mindset as a player, please consider donating to our charity fundraiser that we're doing, trying to raise $25,000 in the season. We're just at or approaching $18,000 right now. We're trying to get to 25 before the end of the year. So be a part of something bigger than yourself, and every single dollar helps. So thank you. Justin Jefferson. Look at this. This is an obscene list of sub 5% plays, projected at 1.5% this week in my favorite shootout of the week. The game that does project to have the most points at the closest spread that's out there. And yeah, you could trigger some value by going to Conklin at tight end. Obviously Thielen is cheaper, so he's going to project better. But why not pay up to be contrarian? You can realistically go out and get Herbert, Allen, Mike Williams, and Justin Jefferson in the same lineup, have all that correlation, all that touchdown expectancy, and the offensive coordinators and coaching room saying, you know what, we got to do better than 9 targets in the last 2 weeks for Justin Jefferson. So the squeaky wheel narrative, but not coming from the wheel itself, coming from the actual drivers of the car saying, you know what, we got to get some oil on that wheel. That thing's squeaking pretty loud. It's enough for me. The narrative's enough for me, but the tournament percentage projects really, really low for what honestly is a high floor, high ceiling play. And it's only because of this $7,700 price tag. So we get to pay up to be contrarian either in primary Herbert stacks or secondary stacks using one player on Los Angeles and using Jefferson as a bring back to get away from to get our lineups down in terms of total cumulative percentage off of some of the other chalk that you're going to have to swallow this week. And at tight end, I get to play TJ Hockenson, projected at 2.8%. It is so easy to get different this week. It's obscene. TJ Hockenson had a few weeks where his volume was dipping and not doing well, but like it came out that he was kind of injured in these spots. And then after he kind of got over that injury, we've seen a ridiculous floor of targets from him. 11, 9, 31 targets in the last 3 weeks for him, back to what he was getting in the first 2 games of the season. Tight end is one position where if you can get a little bit different and you can score 15 to 25 fantasy points on DraftKings, it's the easiest spot to leverage the field in tournaments. If you look at the winning tournament teams over time, hitting big at tight end and defense are the 2 most easy ways to differentiate. Now, it's really hard to do that, to get a leg up on the field. It's hard to do that at defense because defense is so unpredictable. But when tight ends are getting this sort of volume, and he is getting an otherworldly amount of volume, 18 fantasy points, 10.8 fantasy points, 15.4 fantasy points, and has not scored a touchdown since week 2. Tight ends touchdown scoring correlates very highly with the amount of receptions they have and the amount of yards that they have. Regression based on this volume should trend towards the mean, which is a good thing for TJ Hockenson, as his touchdown scoring should increase over the course of the rest of the season, so long as his volume in the targets department and the yards department continue. And I don't think that there's any 2 ways that can go. It's only the one way. The Lions don't have that many talented players on offense to spread it around to. So Hockenson, another a sub 5% play. Shout out to my podcast co-host, Daniel Dopp from the 06010. That one's for you. We've been picking on the Lions all year. I'm going to be picking a Lion this week for week 10 in my tournament lineups. Hopefully this video helped you. All the best of luck to you on the Sunday main slate. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have a couple of seconds, please go to smizzle.tv/charity. Drop a few dollars on the kids, and let's see if we can do something great as a community. Thank you guys very much. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.